All right, guys. Eric Polzin here with NFL Sports. Going to be getting into the Week 9 core plays. If you guys have been paying attention throughout the last, pretty much season, it's been some good coverage for you guys. It was a pretty awesome week last week. Now, I did the full slate last week, and some people didn't enjoy that too much, so going back to the main slate, the problem with last week was there was a lot of quality of plays on the full slate, which made it a lot easier to cash, although it ended up being a pretty easy week to cash as well. Derrick Henry ended up being pretty under-owned, even though he was like 20% owned. Kind of strange there, but yeah, easy slate again. Let's hope that those continue here, guys. We'll see. Just keep playing the correct plays, and hopefully they keep coming through. All right. If you guys enjoy this coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. That does help with the channel a ton. Okay, we're growing a lot, and I do appreciate that. There's a lot of comments and stuff, which helps the videos out as well. Once again, thank you guys. I do appreciate that. Going to be getting into the picks right now. So at the quarterback spot, yes, you could easily go with Josh Allen. I'm fine with that. Yes, his production last week against the Green Bay Packers was somewhat hindered, okay? Packers defense isn't terrible, okay? And they actually looked a lot better in the second half through 2 INTs. Still was able to get to 19 DK points. You know, he is someone that you're probably just locking in 20 DK points from. But I do think we can get those points elsewhere, okay? So I actually do really like the idea, and this sounds strange, of going with Aaron Rodgers. Do just want to touch on Joe Burrow first, okay? Joe Burrow, a safe play. Okay, at 6.6, going against Carolina should be a safe play for you. Now getting into Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers should be an elite, I don't want to say elite play, but he should be a better play. Okay, I do feel like that second half was a turning point kind of for that offense. You saw Romeo Doubs really have a spectacular catch. I think that's going to mean more playing time and more snaps for him. You could possibly have Allen Lazard back, which is only going to help this offense. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers has been a pretty consistent QB thus far this season, okay? One really bad game, and then one kind of bad game, okay? He should have went for more points against Washington, only scoring 15 DK points, which at this current price point, 5.9, still wouldn't be terrible. The thing with this play is he gets the Detroit Lions, a matchup that everyone's been able to do well against, so at 5.9, Aaron Rodgers does make a lot of sense, but you could still go cheaper than Aaron Rodgers. So Justin Fields has been playing extremely well, and this game could possibly be a shootout. I shouldn't say extremely well. DFS-wise, he's been playing well. We'll put it that way. He's been running the ball a ton, which has been able to raise his floor up. We've seen him be able to score 26 and 24 DK points the past 2 games, and also 19 DK points and then 17 DK points over the last 4 games. So obviously the production has been there, especially given this price point of 5.3. That is an excellent price point. If he's going to scramble that much, if we're going to get that floor out of him scrambling like 8 or so DK points, then he should be able to value, especially against the Miami defense, which is a plus matchup. Okay, 5.3, great price point. He's still not throwing the ball enough. We know that. Okay, if he can just hit those open receivers like he was able to do kind of the last couple of weeks, he should be a fine play. At 5.3 is a play that makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to say it's like a lock play, but he should be a quality play. Okay, he's been improving lately, so he is a play that like at 5.3 just makes a ton of sense. Then I will say I do love the idea of playing Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to get right around 40 passing attempts in this game. Now, yes, he has had a tough schedule the last 3 games, okay? Indianapolis, like you weren't targeting a quarterback in that game. The Giants have been much better defensively than anyone thought. And then Denver, a really strong defense, or they were before they traded Bradley Chubb. So like, and even Philly, a great defense. Like the bad games are not too shocking. Now we get a great matchup going against the Las Vegas Raiders, a matchup in which every quarterback has been able to go off against, a matchup in which every quarterback in normal fantasy scoring leagues has scored 17 or more fantasy points against. So like Trevor Lawrence at 5.2 is a player that I think could easily go for 20 DK points, maybe even 30 DK points. This is a matchup in which you want to be chasing. And yes, has Trevor Lawrence struggled accuracy-wise this year? He has, okay? But he can easily go off, especially if he's going to be throwing the ball a lot, which I think he will. From there, we get into Austin Ekeler. Now, Austin Ekeler, the trouble with him is he is priced $1,000 more than any other running back on this slate, okay? But he has been playing, or he played a lot in the last game, getting 74% of the snaps. If we can get him getting over 70% of the snaps, or even over 65% of the snaps, then yes, we love him as a play, especially going against Atlanta, which defensively, they've been getting worse and worse. We just saw Deonta Foreman go for 3 touchdowns and 100 rushing yards, okay? So Ekeler hasn't been good in the running game. Oh well. Passing game is what we like. 12 targets or over 10 targets the last 2 weeks, just had a nice floor in the passing game with that. The only worry I have is that both Josh Palmer and Keenan Allen should be back and should be fully healthy. Now, yes, Mike Williams is gone, but I think those short routes that were going to Austin Ekeler, like the dump-offs, might start to go to Keenan Allen a little bit more. I've been saying that for weeks. I'm like, play Austin Ekeler with Keenan Allen out. The targets are going to be there. Well, now we might finally see that flip-flop, although I do think he's a very strong play. Could easily get you 20 DK points. Now, the biggest problem with this slate is that we got Aaron Jones, if he's going to play over 70% of the snaps, that would be great. but on average this season is getting 61% of the snaps, which if you can still get over 20 opportunities per game, we would take that. We don't know that for sure. Okay, so he's like a risky core play for you guys, like a GPP core play for you guys, maybe not a cash core play for you guys, because he could easily go off and break the slate. I mean, he just went off for 22 DK points against one of the best, if not the best defenses in the league. And he looked great doing it. Like, I know Josh Allen was on the field, but if you talk about who the best player offensively on the field that game was, you might say Aaron Jones or Diggs, because Josh Allen threw two weird kind of bad picks. That's all. I'm trying to say Aaron Jones looked really good last week, and he has looked really good this whole season. And we've seen Aaron Rodgers be very vocal about wanting to get Aaron Jones the ball more. Okay, we've seen that. 10 targets 2 games ago, 5 targets last week. So he does have a decent floor in the passing game. So he's a play that I like a lot. Josh Jacobs, I'm fine with as a play. Don't hate him. But like the easy play, I think on the slate is going to be Travis Etienne. I made him the cover boy again, guys, on the slate. I'm sorry. It is what it is. He is a great play. He played 79% of the snaps last week. James Robinson's gone. Okay, he should be in for a high snap count again. Like 2 straight games of over 20 DK points. The snaps have went up. Getting used in the passing game enough, had 24 rushing attempts and was able to run for 156 yards against a great rush defense as well. That was a matchup in which you were somewhat worried about, but you loved the price point last week. And once again, 6.3, a super cheap price point for a workhorse running back in a great matchup against Las Vegas, a matchup you do want to be chasing. So if you're not playing Trevor Lawrence, then you have to play Travis Etienne. Even if you are playing Trevor Lawrence, Etienne is probably still going to be a great play for you. And then I told you guys, Tyler Algier last week would be a great play. Ended up being that 17 total opportunities, played in around 61% of the snaps, which if Cordero Patterson is out again, that's the big if. Because if Cordero Patterson's active and fully healthy to go, he'd be the play that you want to be on. But Tyler Algier has continued to look good. He got 3 targets and was able to score a receiving touchdown finally. That was his best matchup of the season up to that point, since he's been the starting running back. Now he gets a matchup with the Chargers, which is going to be his best matchup of the year thus far. So I kind of expect him to have a better game than he had last week. Now, I know 17 DK points is going to be tough to top, but maybe just get you 17 or so DK points once again. Should be a good price point play for you. From there, there's a lot of, quality of receiver plays. I will say Tyreek Hill, I do like a decent amount, guys. Like, people might be shy of this, third rank for the Chicago Bears because they had been a pretty good defense. They've been able to hinder production. Well, they made a lot of trades and their defense is going to suck now, pretty much is the simple approach. So we don't worry about the matchup. Like, we still can see Tyreek Hill being a super safe cash play, but also a high upside play as well. The targets continue to be there. I've touched on this every week. The offense was designed to flow through Tyreek Hill, and it's done that. Just play Tyreek Hill if you can afford to pay up for him. Justin Jefferson, I don't mind going against Washington. He should be able to go off as well. Like, certainly a quality play there. I do like the idea of playing Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd, it was weird. He only saw 5 targets last week, but he did play a lot of snaps, playing 96% of the snaps. So with Jamar Chase out, he saw a big increase in snaps, about 20% more. We do expect those targets to be there. Joe Burrow just kind of had a weird game going against Carolina, a defense that had been kind of poor most of the season. I do expect Tyler Boyd to be a very strong price point play. Christian Kirk, I've echoed this a lot now, guys. It's the Jaguars' best matchup in a while. I expect him to have a much better game. I mean, he was still able to have some good games, even in some tough matchups. And now he gets his best matchup of the game. I kind of expected to be more like at the start of the season when he was really dominating. Maybe not 20 DK points, but maybe like 16 or so DK points. And at 5.5, you would absolutely take that. Obviously, if I like Aaron Rodgers, and I like Romeo Doubs, especially if Allen Lazard is ruled out. That should mean more manufactured plays going to Romeo Doubs. Obviously, he had that spectacular catch, okay? 7 targets is what I like the most, though, okay? The playing time was about the same, over 80% of the snaps. That should continue to be there for him. If those targets continue to be there for him, the manufactured plays continue to be there for him. That's a strong price point in a match which you want to be targeting. All right, so Keenan Allen, this is the moment we've really all been waiting for. Only played in about 32% of the snaps in Week 7 against Seattle. Okay, that was unfortunate for him. 2 targets, though, in those snaps. So let's just say he gets 90% of the snaps or so, which kind of expect him to, being one more week more healthy. He should be good to go. And we do need to get word that he is 100% like ready to go, or even 90% ready to go. Because if he is, then at this price point, given the matchup, we should be locking in a ton of targets. We should be locking in 9 or so targets. And that would make Keenan Allen at 6.5 a great price point play. I do just want to point out Marshall Jr., my favorite value play from last week. Gosh, the value plays have been good. 9 targets, 4 receptions, 84 yards, 12.7 DK points. And he still is kind of a value play at 3.9. Last week, 3.5. Okay, he's played in 100% and 90% of the snaps. If you need to find a discounted price on a receiver or anyone really, he'd be the one I'm looking at this week. So I just want to call that out for you guys. And then tight end wise, there's really two routes that I'm going, kind of just given the price points that are out there. Evan Ingram in his matchup with the Raiders. Once again, you guys know it's a matchup I want to be targeting. Okay, watch the Raiders finally show up this week. That'd be funny. But 3.3, a cheap price point for a guy that finally saw a lot more snaps, 93% of the snaps last week. If he can just maintain over 80% of the snaps, then he becomes a much more intriguing play. Over 6 targets each of the last 4 weeks, which we like to see, averaging over 10 DK points each of the last 4 weeks. So yes, that's a great price point play. The issue is that we got some value that probably opened up on the slate, some value at the tight end spot that I might not be able to pass up on. Brock Wright, okay? He's going to step into a more prominent role thus far this season in games that he's been active in. I think he's been active in all of them. He's played in 38% of the snaps. Okay, TJ Hawkinson, who just got traded to the Minnesota Vikings, has been playing in 85% of the snaps. So next in line is Wright. You'd kind of expect him to take those snaps and maybe he just gets you 3 targets, 5 DK points. And obviously at the tight end spot, just trying to pay down. Don't really care too much. He'd be the floor play that you're going with there. On defense, I might go Carolina, maybe for now. Once again, my thought process with picking a defense is I want the lowest price defense that's not going to go negative on the slate. Just typically like to have those salary savings to be able to spend elsewhere. So 2.3, we're going to plug them in there for now. That might change. And then we have 6.1 left over. Let's see who can make work in that build. I don't hate Tyler Lockett. You could roll with him. Eno Benjamin would be a fine play if we get news that James Conner is out once again. I'm going to go with Stevenson or Walker for this build. I'm going to go down from the Panthers to the Jets and just hope they don't go negative. Been a pretty solid defense thus far. Can we go up from even Stevenson then? No. Stevenson's fine. Kenneth Walker are both fine plays. So that'd be the first build for you guys as well. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Let's have a good slate. Do want to call out if you guys want to become a 9to5 member. It is $10 a month. Get you access to the NFL DFS cheat sheet, as well as the NFL DFS DraftKings lineup optimizer, as well as the NBA DFS cheat sheet and DraftKings lineup optimizer, as well as the golf package as well, the premium golf package for just $10 a month. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. Some people actually just use the 9to5 membership as a way to kind of donate to the channel when they've had a good week as well. If you guys want to, you can do that as well. It won't hurt my feelings if you just buy it and cancel it right away. Okay, let's have a good slate, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, let's keep cashing.